I chose a Bible story that probably not a lot of you know, and now if you don't have a Bible, you're going to be going, what did he read? Where was that? Second Hesitation 7? What? Alright, so it's 2 Kings... That was a joke. Oh my gosh. Alright, 2 Kings chapter 2, here he goes. Oh wait, let me give you some backstory. The prophet Elijah, he's like God's #1 prophet, right? And then, weird thing happens, he doesn't die. God says, you don't have to die. Wait a minute, I thought everything that happened to people was death and taxes. No, you don't get to die. So God actually sends this hot rod down to pick him up that's got flames in the side, and he just goes off into heaven like Olivia Newton-John. So, that was a reference from Greece. Alright, so, then Elisha is his second in command, is like his student, and Elisha goes, whoa, I've got some of Elijah's power, and he goes over to Jericho and he does a little miracle where he heals some water. And then after that, he heads on up to Bethel, and that's kind of where our story starts, okay? So here it goes. This is the Bible now. Alright, from there, Elisha went up to Bethel. And as he was walking along the road, some boys came out of the town and jeered at him. Get out of here, Baldy, they said. Get out of here, Baldy. He turned around, looked at them, and called down a curse on them in the name of the Lord. Then 2 bears came out of the woods and mauled 42 of the boys. And then he went on to Mount Carmel. The end. Now, wait, isn't that weird? Like, that's not a story they taught you in Sunday school, right? I mean, that would be really weird, right? Bears gone wild, and then, that's your story for Sunday. They got the, flannel graph chart out, and they have the little boys we're gonna go for a walk today, do-do-do-do-do. Hey, look, there's a bald old man. Hey, bald guy. Enter scene, bears. Roar, chomp, chomp, pants the ketchup, right? And then they're mauled by bears. And that's just totally, and it's a Bible story, right? It's a Bible story. It's in the Bible. That means that kids in Hebrew school, way back when Jesus stayed, they would learn this story and commit it to memory. And so that's just weird that out of all the stories there are, that's in the Bible. And the first thing that I was thinking in my head was wait a minute, bears in the Middle East. There are bears in the desert? I looked, man, I went out to Wikipedia, there are no bears in the desert. Because when I think of desert, I think of sand and scorching sun and hot, and bears are furry. Right? That's like saying that bears parachuted out of the sky. Or that I was swimming in the ocean and 2 bears popped up. Like there's water bears. Or like there's bears in the snow out in the Arctic somewhere. Oh yeah, polar bears. Never mind. But you know what I mean, right? Like bears in the desert, that's kind of bizarre. And then the second thing that was weird was these bears, they maul these kids. And I thought, well, maybe maul is kind of like a loose translation. No, it's actually being very, very generous, because the Hebrew word there would almost be eviscerated, ripped apart. So these kids, they make fun of a bald man, and then their punishment is a slap on the wrist. No. They get to go to prison. No. They have to write a 1,000-word essay. No. They get chewed up by carnivores, right? They get beaten by bears. They all get shoved through a giant bear blender and shot out the other side. That's disgusting, right? You think wait a minute, I insult somebody and the punishment is eaten by bears. That just seems over the top, right? That just seems way extreme, that the punishment is so vast. And then, and the third thing is I was reading this text in some other translations, right? Because I knew I was going to tell you the story. And then I looked it up in the Hebrew too, and it doesn't just, and I don't know if some of your Bibles actually say this, but it doesn't just say bears all the time. Sometimes it says she-bears, girl bears. So we know that these boys were all mauled by 2 girl bears, which is weird too, because that's like saying mama bear and daughter bear, they're going for a walk out in the scorching sun. I don't know why, it's so weird. And then the mama bear's like, hey, you know what I feel like? And the daughter bear's like, what, pizza? No, teenager. And, it's just so weird.